Hello, I'm Ian and I'm a Dark Elfaholic. In this video we're going to showcase some of the army that I've already created, and then we're going to talk about how we're going to expand it further. This army is just going to include the 4th and 5th edition sculpts, which came out in the summer of 1995. It all started about 10 years ago when I was invited to join a slow grow army project for a magazine called Initiative. It's the usual thing, a monthly pledge and document your progress. But a lot of contributors fell by the wayside. But I kept going, I was having fun, and it was my Dark Elves. And towards the end of the process, I ended up with a small army that I was really quite proud of. The magazine unfortunately was short-lived as the editor decided to move on, and I still had a lot of Dark Elves in my 4th and 5th edition to paint. So I carried on, although not as efficiently as I had been doing with the magazine project. There'd always be gaps sometimes of up to a year between getting units done, but I was still making progress. So fast forward to today, and as you can see, it's quite a large army and the lead pile is shrinking. I've had a lot of inspiration lately from a few sources, and of course with the speculation that the Dark Elves could be coming to the Old World it's quite exciting. At the present day they're a legacy army, but fingers crossed that can change. Another inspiration is my friend Georg Dam. He's on a similar journey with the same edition of Elves, and he's created a most beautifully painted army to a much higher standard than I could ever achieve. It really is lovely to see. Other inspiration comes from the YouTube community. This includes a lot of channels like Miniature Realms, Anvil of Doom, Johnny Watson Gaming, Crown of Command, The Miniature Painter, Fifth Hammer, and more recently Herdstone Painting. I mean, there's so many channels out there that have amazing content for Warhammer Fantasy and the Old World. It's lovely. So all of these marvellous channels have played their own part in pushing me to carry on and try and complete this army. Okay, so taking a closer look at some of the units now. We've got the Spearman here. The one on the right was the first one I ever did. I struggled for a bit thinking about how I was going to base them. I ended up with this rocky, icy, snowy theme. I thought it fitted the Dark Elves quite nicely, so I was very happy with that. The bolt throwers didn't look right on a square base for some reason, so I thought I'm not going to game with them properly, so I might as well put them on round bases, and I think they look great. Crossbow, no, Corsairs, aren't they? Corsairs were a strange one for me, because I always shied away from painting them because I thought they were ugly, really chunky and horrible. But when I painted them, they turned out really nicely. It was quite a nice surprise actually. And then the Blackguard, really enjoyed painting these ones, especially the conversion for the champion. Onto the Cainite section of the family. Got the assassins here with I included the Blood Bowl special character as well. I thought he fitted in quite nicely next to the assassins. Witch Elves, I did them separately because I wasn't sure how I was going to do the cauldron, because I wanted to make it a little bit special. So that became a project within a project. We'll come on to that in a bit. And the Executioners, they were a real labour of love. It took way over 20 years to collect this many, especially avoiding the eBay recasts. So the cauldron took a while, and I didn't want to just plonk it onto a base. I needed to know how it got onto the battlefield. I know it's very un-Warhammery of me, but I had to come up with a solution. And I thought the slaves would be good to have in tow because they could top up the cauldron wherever they needed. So I was happy there. So the guy pulling it, he's an out of production sculpt by Raging Heroes. I think it's one of the first things they ever did, but I thought, nah, he's the one for me. So onto some of the characters. This my sorceress on a Dark Pegasus and the dragon. The dragon was I was really quite daunted by the prospect of doing that one, but he turned out a lot better than I thought actually. So I was happy with that one. But this is such a beautiful sculpt of the Dark Sorceress. So I really wanted a nice base for her. And so I also needed an overhang on the rocks so I could put some icicles on there, only just because I just figured out how to make them. And she's my absolute favourite. Love it. So the Cold War Knights were one of the first things that I bought with the 4th edition because I thought they looked bloody amazing. And I remember putting a chain link reins on them, and at the time I thought, yeah, they'll do. But looking back, the chain link was massive, you know. So I got rid of that, stripped them down, and give them a nice paint job now to fit in with the newer scheme on the army. And then Harpies were another one of those units, like the Corsairs and the Witch Elf swords, where they're totally put off by them. But I proved myself wrong, you know, painted them up, and I thought, yeah, they'll do, really nice. So, yeah, magic users. Now the Sorceress in the middle, I was quite lucky to get hold of her because she's an unreleased sculpt, and I got it through the Old Hammer forum back in the day, 15, 20 years ago. Yeah, really lucky to get hold of her. And the male Sorceress was quite odd at the time, wasn't he? But it's all Witch Elves now. So the army's going well so far. There's still some releases from this edition that need some paint on them. So this part of the project is going to include this limited edition Hydra. It was only available at US Games Day back in 95, 96 I'm guessing. I've also got the Sorcerer that goes with it, but he needs a new sword because I've broken mine. Thankfully Georg has created a press mould that I can use, so I'll get that done soon. Onto the Blackguard, I need to bulk them up so that they make a unit of 30, so there's 10 of those to do. Also got 10 Spearmen to do, same again to bulk up a unit of 30, as I'll have 3 units of 30 Spearmen then, because I love the Spearmen. I'll be doing tutorials for all of these, by the way, hopefully, fingers crossed, he says. Yeah, I need another unit of 20 crossbowmen, because yeah, I want another unit of 20 crossbowmen. And yeah, finally the limited release Executioner. I've only got a few of these left to do. Recently converted a banner for the unit, so it's just a case of adding a few more to bring the unit up to 30. I'll be really happy. So there we have it. I've got a plan going forward. Just need to get a few more bits, get them based, more importantly painted. Hopefully I'll be doing regular updates. I'll do painting guides along the way as well. You can see probably a cheeky little teaser that I've put in here. I'd love it if you could get involved by way of support. Just throw a comment or a like or whatever the other YouTube things that people do. I'd really appreciate it. So fingers crossed, I'll be back soon with a video painting up this Spearman. I hope to see you there. Cheers.